We're back, baby. I'm going to change things up a little bit this time. Going to give a little bit more of like a perspective process of like me actually working through how awful a lot of this stuff is, instead of just the time lapses that I've been doing. Although that's definitely more aesthetic. Um, we'll see what works better. I'm feeling like this right now. It's been a hot minute. I'm not going to lie. Been very busy with work, family, school, and just overall, I haven't been very motivated. But I went to a car show today, and that really made me feel like I need to stop being a little bitch and work on this thing and get it running. So let's jump into that because there's been some updates on that. All right, so the last video I put the cam tower on, and that was pretty much it. So since then, both belts have been installed. It's been timed correctly. I've got the timing covers put on. I got these nice little Allen bolts with some zinc washers. I thought those were a nice touch because all the original hardware just looked like shit. So got those on. Got the pulley on. I still have to add one more pulley. There's a cute little story about that in a second. Got fuel rail on, injectors on, fuel pressure regulator, and fuel damper. Hopefully I don't have any issues with that. I'm hoping that I can get away with reusing those. But, so, let me turn this around. God damn. It's awkward as shit. So, I started working on the engine bay, and I ran into some trouble. So, this here car has been wrecked. It's been in a front end accident. It's had the front end repaired. And so the next thing for me to do, getting this engine bay stripped, is to, what are you doing, dog? Is to get this, they call it front header panel, header nose panel, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And so everything online, Clark's Garage, everything's like, oh, hey, so there's these screws right up here. You pop those out. Then there's these bolts right here, one on each side. Then there should be two bolts inside like the headlight buckets. And that's the first red flag. There were no bolts, no nuts, nothing. And so I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Then in a lot of the Porsche groups that I'm a part of on Facebook, they were saying, oh, there's some screws inside. There's no screws inside, guys. I promise you, I'm not that retarded. I could not find a single screw in there. So I took out these four up here, because that's all there was. I took out these two, and this fucker is not moving at all. I was having a really bad time. I was just not in the headspace to be messing with it in the beginning, to be honest. And so I started prying on things. Yeah, that's cool. So out of frustration, I walked away because I chipped that. I was like, let me keep touching this. And so I had the covers on already. I just needed to put the pulley on. What happened? I was in a bad mood, irritated. I over-tightened this bolt right here and snapped it. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I'm not pulling that back off, and I'm not going to remove that. I think that with these three, I Loctited the shit out of them. And then also this other pulley that goes on there, putting pressure on that. I can't imagine that pulley is going to fly off. If it flies off, everybody can laugh at me in the comments. I'm not doing that shit. So, next part is going to be trying to figure this the fuck out. So I'm going to pull this bumper off. I already got the bottom piece of the bumper off. And see if I can get a better look under this, see if there's some spot welds or something. Maybe whoever fixed this car, whenever they fixed it, I don't know, maybe they like permanently attached it. I guess we'll find out. So let's get into that. This should be 219s down here. Everything that I saw. Yeah, that's moving a lot. I think that should be the only thing holding this on. Go drink water, dog. You literally have a bowl of water out here that is not in the sun. It's in the shade. You're acting like a ASPCA commercial. We'll see what hidden treasures this baby hides. Let's just pull out. Oh, it looks like it does. Okay. All right. So undo these connectors right here. All right. That was surprisingly easier than I thought. Way easier than things typically tend to happen in my life. All right. So this is still okay. So this is spot welded on. So a lot of things online said that the really early 944s, these panels were spot welded on. What threw me off is that up here, there was the 4 screws like this has already been drilled out, and the spot welds have already been drilled out. But clearly, maybe they did it up at the top and they were like, oh shit, we have to do it all the way around. And so they just stopped at the top and then put the screws in up here. So I gotta fuck my face now and drill out those spot welds. I'm gonna time lapse this part because there's like 25 plus spot welds that I'm gonna have to like slowly resist the urge to self lobotomize to get this panel off. So yeah, we're gonna time lapse that shit. Cause fuck all that. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is probably the worst thing that I've ever had to do on a car. I don't know if you can see that. All that's all sweat. I've convinced myself that this panel is probably not going to be salvageable at this point. Luckily, I can get a new one, new used one, either from a junkyard or eBay for like 150 bucks. Let me show you why. This is crazy. So the panel has all these spot welds, which I've marked with a paint marker, and I've just been trying to go one by one with a drill bit, and it's just, I mean, like, it's working, but it's working really, really badly. Uh, so I felt like okay right up until I got to like the middle, and then they're just like, oh my god, I'm having to enlarge them and go bigger and bigger because they're not like an even little spot weld that I can just drill out. They're like super mush oblong spot welds, and I'm having to pry it off. Sorry, that glares real bad. But then this corner here, it's been like, again, this was in a front end accident, but this corner here has been poorly repaired. So I was trying my best to keep this thing intact, but I'm having to pry on it so much, even after drilling out the spot welds, that it's just looking like Chicago. So let's keep going. All right, so I called it a quits simply because, like I stated before, the car has been in a front end accident. Unfortunately, I think that whoever put this front end back together took it upon themselves to put like additional body seam sealer, Bondo, additional little spot welds in corners and places where it's outside of factory placement, right? And so me drilling these spot welds and prying on it, and all of it's just going so awfully, and it's just looking like crap. That I just called it a quits because I felt like I was doing more harm than good. So I came to Harbor Freight, got a like a little cutting wheel, and I'm gonna try and cut this header panel out of place. Again, I've already accepted the fact that I'm gonna have to get a new one. I'm either gonna try and source a used one, or I know of a handful of companies and guys that are making like new ones from fiberglass, so I might go that route. I don't know, depends on price. So yeah, got the cutter, back to the house now to do that. All right, now let the record show that we got here strictly on the might as well theory. Okay, now if you're new to the car scene, you've never had a project car before, or you don't know what the might as well theory is, let me enlighten you. Okay, in my case, I just got done restoring and refreshing that engine that looks beautiful. So I might as well, while the engine's out, clean up the engine bay, right? So I might as well pull all the wiring, clean up the wiring, degrease the engine bay. But realistically, this is a 40-year-old engine bay. So I might as well repaint the whole engine bay and make it look really nice and shiny and clean. So if I'm doing that, I might as well pull all these panels off, and I might as well, and I might as well, and I might as well, and I might as well just never drive the car. Okay? Lesson learned. When you're on a limited budget, don't might as well yourself to death. Now let's cut this shit up. Okay. So I've got the top section cut. Now I strategically cut it higher than where it attaches to, because I was afraid of cutting that ledge off and then not having anything for the new panel to attach to. So I figured once I got this panel off, I'd be able to wrestle with that section that's attached somehow. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the time lapse. All this section, this whole section right here, there's so much Bondo that I was having to cut through. So my theory of body shop fuckery is proving to be correct. We'll see. I bought 6 cutting wheels and I went through 4 of them already. So we'll see if I can get all of this off in one take. All right, guys, I'm having to call it. Went through all the cutting wheels, even pulled out the Big Mac cutting wheel that I was trying to avoid using, but I knew that I had like half of a disc on that left, and I used all of that as well. So I'm gonna end this episode right here. I'm gonna have to go get more cutting wheels. I'm probably gonna have to get grinding wheels as well, just to clean this all up tomorrow. So thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned. Leave comments. Let me know what you guys are interested in seeing or any recommendations. I am not an expert by any means, so I'm open to any and all help. Thanks.